Not meant to be a bashing QuickBooks presentation today. Quite the opposite. We think QuickBooks is a very good solution for what it is. It's very inexpensive. It's easy to set up and use. Their QuickBooks Online is in the cloud, so you can work from anywhere, right? So because of that, QuickBooks is the easily #1 solution for startups. But then as your company starts to grow and you start to have a lot more things going on, a lot more volume, a lot of different types of offerings, what I call basicness of QuickBooks that was so great as you started up now starts to cause some challenges for you. A lot of startups, they're using QuickBooks just for kind of their general ledger, maybe AR and AP along with it. But CRM is running off on the side separately. Maybe they have a separate inventory system that they're using to fulfill orders. When you had a few customers and a few transactions, that wasn't so bad. But as you grow, now having these broken flows, it's harder for operations to understand what's going on with sales, and it's harder for the accounting team to record those things. You've lost your visibility into your business, and you got really inefficient processes. Also, as you've grown, some of you, the more what we call complex accounting, that was again fine when you just had a few things, now gets harder. Maybe you bought a second company and now you have 2 different legal entities. You know, in QuickBooks, that means 2 different instances of QuickBooks, and now you're doing your consolidated financials in Excel. Maybe you offer some type of subscription and recurring billing, and you're now, managing that somewhere outside the system, and you have to manually be doing new invoices each month and trying to keep up with those, as well as any adjustments on those from month to month. And of course, RevRec, and if you got to follow, a number of the new RevRec rules like 606, doing that manually is a real challenge. And then there's really one way to do things in QuickBooks. And as your business grows, there's a reason your business is growing and being successful, because you have something unique about your business. Maybe you have some unique processes, some unique things that you want to track, but QuickBooks doesn't have the flexibility for that. And then, often with QuickBooks, all these transactions happening in CRM and in your inventory system happen throughout the month, and then you just load some month-end entry into QuickBooks, right? So you have no real-time visibility into what's going on. You just wait till month-end, and then you load this stuff in, and you hope that your financials all work out. And so because of all this, you just don't have that single source of truth for financials or operations. You don't have your whole team aligned. Number one, you already heard me mention Excel, and that's the thing we hear a lot. As companies grow, Excel starts to become their database. You shouldn't be running your business out of it. It should be a reporting tool. And then because of all this, your accounting team spends so much time doing what we call clerk activities. You're updating spreadsheets. You're following up with people to say, what did you receive this? Is this bill correct? And you're not spending time doing what we call actual accounting. We think your accounting team should be able to spend their time on real value add things. And then I list this last one. The company identifies new opportunities, but they don't want to take them on because they don't think their systems can handle it. Systems should not drive your business, right? You want a system that works with your business. Here's what NetSuite can do for you. Right off the bat, any of your complex accounting needs, it can cover for you. Consolidated financials, no worries. All your subsidiaries are in one instance. You get automated consolidated financials without a problem. You also get to have this single source of truth, right? So you can have your CRM, your inventory, your finance all in one system. And even if you decide that maybe you want to keep your CRM or your current CRM, they're great integrations. So they really become an extension of NetSuite. We can also personalize it for your business. So those things that make you unique, let's add some workflows for your processes. Let's add some custom fields to track that data. That's one of the nice things about NetSuite being truly built for the cloud. You can still do all your upgrades and all these personalizations flow along with you. And then lastly, the nice thing, NetSuite is a suite. You don't have to buy the whole thing on day one. You can buy what you need now, and as your business grows, you can then add more features, more modules later. Everybody's on the current version, all your customizations roll over, all the benefits of a true cloud solution. And I'm just going to take you through a few things to kind of highlight some of the things that I just talked about. You don't have to install anything anywhere. Just as long as you have an internet connection, you go out to NetSuite, you hit the login, and you log in. It's got two-factor authentication on it. On the back end, it's in Oracle databases. You're getting the same security and infrastructure as these multi-billion-dollar global companies. When you log in, you do log in with a role. And that role is a set of permissions that tells you what you can do. When you log in, you come into a dashboard, and the nice thing with the dashboard is you can personalize this any way you want. So I'll maybe add a third column. I can, drag some stuff over to that side if I want. If I want to add new things to this, I can go ahead and add searches and portlets. And we help take you through all this. And once you see that, you can see how easy it is to adjust yourself. And you can see, again, this is all in real time. I can work out of it right here on my screen. For example, past due invoices. NetSuite has this great reminders section. You can put pretty much any alert that you want in here so that you can see what's going on in my environment for things that I'm responsible for without having to go out and run reports. But you can drill into any of these and see what they look like and go ahead and take care of those individual things that come up on those reminders. And if there's not a reminder in here that you want, you can come into setup and add more, or you can, ask us to create new reminders for you. You can also add things like shortcuts. So if you don't want to remember these menu paths where to get to, you can add a shortcut for anything. So they're available there or up here. You also have a recent records. If you're like me, you can't remember what you just opened up. And then the last thing I'll say up here is this global search is really nice. So I can search for anything. So if I'm up here and I search for this, I don't have to try to do this whole list and find it. I can just type what I'm looking for up here. And it is really nice how you can personalize NetSuite. So if, for example, maybe you want to call things something different than they are currently, you can go ahead and do renaming. So if I call customers clients, I can go ahead and do that. And maybe I call my vendors suppliers. And now immediately throughout the system, I can now see that I have clients and I now have suppliers. I talked about financial reporting a little bit and how NetSuite has consolidated financials built in. If we take a look at how this environment is set up, it is set up as a multi-subsidiary environment. So I don't have to log into different instances like in QuickBooks. I have all of my subsidiaries in one place. So now if I come into my financials, I can go ahead and look at this for an individual operating sub if I want, or I can look at the whole consolidated level up at the top and see this across all of my subsidiaries. I can also run this by my individual subsidiaries if I want, so I can still see my consolidated financials, or I can run it for each individual subsidiary. You can see I have other options. I can run it by department. Maybe I want a department P&L. All of those are available to me. All of these numbers that are listed in here are drillable numbers. So I can see the detail, what made up this number. I can drill further and see what that individual transaction actually looks like. Since this is in the cloud, rather than drilling and hitting my back button, I can right click on this and say open in a new tab. So now I didn't lose my spot. I still have my original income statement open. I have my income statement detail open here. And then I have my individual transaction. And that's what's another nice thing about having this all in one system. You have all the detailed transactions. It's not just some month-end GL import that you did. Let's go ahead and go through an example of how NetSuite does automated amortizations. Let's go ahead and enter a vendor bill. And I'm going to skip approvals. You can send this out for approvals. You can even do approvals via email to bring efficiencies in. And we got a bill for $1,200 for annual insurance. We want to pay this, of course, right now, but we don't want to recognize all $1,200 of this right now. This is something that is running from 10/1/2022 to 9/30/2023. So something that you maybe are adding to a spreadsheet today, and then each month recording the journal entry for that. If we take a look at the GL impact of this, we'll see that this hit accounts payable. But the other side went into prepaid expenses because that's where we said we wanted to amortize it. We can see that there is now a number here. So this is our amortization schedule. We can see that we are set up to recognize $100 a month in expense from October to September of next year. So then at month end, let's create our amortization journals. This will pick all of our amortization schedules that are set up to be amortized. I'll just mark them all and we'll go ahead and create these. Just like that, NetSuite is going to take care of handling my amortization for the month. Now, if I come back and take a look at my amortization schedule, I have created my first month amortization, and we can see that that journal entry had a whole bunch of stuff because we were doing all kinds of tests. But here's our last one, and we can see we took it out of prepaid expense and we put it over into insurance expense. NetSuite does a great job of keeping everything linked. So no matter how I'm looking at things, I never have to say, where did this come from? Because I can see where it came from. So you get all this stuff that you used to be doing in Excel and used to have to be manually setting up. Now you can set it up at the time you're doing your entry, and NetSuite will just manage it for you from there. We showed you how it's in the cloud, showed you how you log in with a role that gives you unique permissions, showed you that dashboard that you can personalize for yourself so you can have the information that you care about. Rename all the things inside of NetSuite to match your company. When you get to month end or even any time through the month, run your financial reports, run your operational reports. I just showed you a few of the financial reports, but there are every type of report you can imagine available for you inside of NetSuite. We showed you how you can run things at a consolidated level so you don't have to do anything outside in Excel, or you can run it on your individual subsidiaries, no problem. You can slice and dice in all kinds of different ways. You can drill into from a top level all the way down to the transaction. You can open things in multiple windows. You can handle your complex accounting, so things like prepaid that we showed, but also, like we mentioned, fixed assets, revenue recognition, all that kind of stuff. Really, the whole thing was just to give you kind of a taste of how NetSuite can do a lot of things that you're doing manually today, doing in disparate systems, getting different answers all over the place. You can bring that together all in one place. If any of this resonates at all and you'd like to just have a conversation, we'd love to have a conversation with you and understand what challenges you're running into today with QuickBooks or whatever other solution you might be on, and talk about how NetSuite might be able to solve those for you and how KES might be able to help you get there. And everyone, take care.